I'm white and was adopted into a black family. AMA. Curious if Reddit can beat the weird questions I've been asked Earl. I'm Brazilian, and here we're a pretty mixed country, so a white guy in a black family would either not be weird at all, not happen because we don't have a lot of families with only one ethnicity. Do you get a lot of death stares from other people? I've had people look at me sort of weirdly but not proper death stares, and have had people assume I'm just a friend of the family. And how do you feel about that? It does suck that some people assume I'm not part of the family. But in fairness, I'm not related, no matter how much I am part of the family, so it doesn't bother me too much. All that makes me sad? How can you say you are not related? My son is adopted and I hope he never thinks he's not related. He's my son. He's dark brown, morenito, I'm medium brown and my husband's white. I never get weird looks when I'm with my son, but when we are all together we sometimes get looks. I suppose she meant related in the traditional biological sense. Your son is absolutely your son. What is the funniest thing that happened to your family because of your color? Probably this woman asking if I was my brother's GF, not that funny but was in the moment. I can relate. My stepbrother is black, I look white, though I'm only half. His grandmother asked if I was his girlfriend and I just about gagged. What are you doing, stepbro? How many siblings do you have? 4 older brothers and my mom wanted a girl, so. How old were you when they brought you in? My birth parents had decided before I was born that I would be adopted, so my adoptive parents took me home the day. Though there was still a period of time where it wasn't legal, giving my birth parents time to change their minds. Did they let you know from the beginning you were adopted? I grew up knowing I was different to them and they never lied to me saying they are biologically my parents, but never knew what adoption was till about age 6 or 7. What is the weirdest question you've ever been asked? Honestly, there are so many. One I'll always remember is being asked if, since I grew up with them, if I thought I was black too. Did you? Well, no, but for a few months thought I was albino until my mom said no. So, kinda yes then. I guess I did, lol. How does your extended family treat you? My dad's side of the family is also nice. Never met my mom's side of the family, but that's issues between them and her, not to do with me. Have you ever seen The Jerk with Steve Martin? Nope. Heard of it though. Early 80s Steve Martin movie where he plays a character whose first line in the film is "I was born a poor black child," one of my favorite movies ever.
He hates these cans!
I'm Asian and was adopted into a white family, with basically all my friends being white too because of where I've lived. Does it ever bother you when you're with your family and you know they're not your biological parents and the life you have isn't necessarily the life you would have had you not been adopted? Maybe it's just worse for me because I was born in a completely different country, Lamau. I sometimes think about how my life would be different if I was raised by my birth parents, but my life is amazing, so I can only think life with them wouldn't be as good. I think she would maybe feel similar if she was adopted to a black family in like an African country with few whites. I have read similar things from others, for example Koreans in Sweden, and when I lived in Asia I felt it a bit too. You stand out. Have you ever heard people being racist towards black people? How did you react? Do you think you have more insight on the racism since you're white and coming from a black family? Yeah and no, my family have had people being just straight up racist, but honestly never witnessed it myself when with them. And don't understand racism at all. Have you received more questions about your adoption or your family's race? Do others treat you differently for one or the other when they're made aware? If someone finds out I'm adopted without knowing my family's race, then it's just typical adoption questions. If they do know though, then most questions include race. And I don't think so, or just not that I've noticed. Do you have an N-word pass? Don't feel comfortable saying it though, my brothers say it's fine with just them. And now a more serious question, how do you see it to the rest of white folks? It's a heavy issue or should be considered just a word? I think it should just be seen as a word unless used to be offensive. Pretty reasonable. One more question, favorite musical genre? Pop or dance? Rock kinda too, but only a few. I read an article once about a black family that adopted a white baby and they were saying they sometimes get really racist reactions, like one woman who assumed the mom was the baby's nanny. or another who called the police because they thought it was a kidnapping. Have you ever experienced anything like that? I get people who think they're not my family, but nothing like that. Have you ever met your birth parents? No, but I know they don't live that far away. What made them put you up for adoption? If you know. They were both still in high school, and also my biological mom had autism and knew herself she couldn't raise a kid. Are you British? Yeah, we live in Scotland. Do you want Scotland to remain in the UK or be independent? I'm not that into politics, so don't exactly know all the pros and cons, but think it could be nice to try it. It's not like we can't change it back again, and other countries do it and love it. I'm sorry for asking. How did your bio mom get pregnant? Who is your bio father? Never been told, since I guess my adoptive parents don't know, but they were both teens and in high school, and I wasn't planned, so I guess either unprotected sex or condom broke. My biological parents are still a couple as far as I know. Do you want to meet them? I think it would be kind of nice, but I'd only do it if I knew they would be okay with seeing me. I know it was an upsetting choice for them. Do you experience racial prejudice either within or on behalf of your family? You mean my family being racist to me? Yes, or extended family. Nah, never. Have you ever experienced racism by proxy? What I mean is, has anyone criticized your parents for trying to raise a white child or made assumptions that you're not a part of the family? Other than the girlfriend story. Nah, not that I know about, but have had a lot just assume I'm not their kid. What is something someone said to you that was meant as a compliment, but came out all wrong? This girl a few doors down once said I was the nicest in my family. Nothing wrong with that compliment, and I smiled. Then I feel bad for her. She tried saving herself, which didn't have to do, and she said I'm not saying that cause they're all black. Oh god, and I think she just made a mistake, but it did kinda become awkward, haha. She is really nice though. Awesome. Love is love. I'm black and have a mixed family. My only question is, do you now know the difference between spinach, kale, and collard greens? Dude, Scottish people don't eat vegetables. Be sensitive to their culture, please. I've only eaten spinach before. We hear a lot about white mothers who have trouble caring for AA kids' hair. Did your mother have trouble with yours? Nah. My mom always made my hair look really nice. I still sometimes ask her to brush my hair as we watch TV or something. God, I love to have someone brush my hair. It's one of the reasons I wish I had a daughter. BC, my son has no interest. I loved styling my mom's hair when I was little. Yeah, lol, I hope I have a daughter and can do the same as my mom did. It is so soothing. My 6-year-old son has attempted to brush my hair once or twice. He did do better than his dad attempted to do after I gave birth though. Have you ever experienced negativity from a white person when they find out your family is black? Not Earl, have online though. That's great, not Earl. I'm American and perhaps the Scots are more open than we are? Was surprised to hear this. What are the weird questions you've been asked, Earl? So many. Most are just asking if black people do something that literally everyone does. I had a similar situation. I was the only white kid in an all-black school and neighborhood all through elementary and middle school. How do you all arrange yourselves for family pictures? I can only picture one family picture in my head, and we had all the family there, tallest standing behind sofa, medium on the sofa, and smallest kneeling on the floor. Think that's the only photo we have all together. Our other pictures are just randomly separate. I have pics of me with my brothers, and usually me and my closest in age brother are in front since we're smallest, haha. Have you ever asked your parents why they chose you? In school, if your other siblings were in school same time as you, have you ever had to jump in and defend them from racism or general unpleasantness, and what was the other party's reaction? All I know is that they wanted a girl Lamau. I used to be in school with 2 of my brothers and they had no issues with racism. We went to different high schools though, and there has been race issues for them, but wasn't there to stick up for them. I'll always be there for them for stuff like that though. Are you still considered the black sheep of the family? Nah, I feel just as equal. What is the age difference between you and your youngest brother? Do you feel that you grew up with your brothers, or are they a lot older? I'm 16 and the youngest brother is 17, the oldest is 26. Did you develop character traits that you would consider black? Don't think so. My family actually act pretty white. Have you had people treat you differently after finding out you were adopted by a black family? I mean, I don't think so. I notice people treat me different just in general for being adopted though. How so? People try way too hard not to offend me because I'm adopted. It's sweet in a way cause it feels nice. They try not to hurt me, but it isn't necessary. I've had a teacher say I don't have to make Mother's and Father's Day cards since I don't have parents, even though my adoptive parents are as much my parents as if they gave me life themselves. Approximately how much racist crap is said to you and your family on a daily basis? I know my family has issues with racists but never seen it, just heard from what they talk about. I've had people ask me stuff that could probably considered racist but nothing actually hateful. With all the stereotypes in the society, how you find black people? Are they really like what people think? Do you talk loudly? A lot of stereotypes are so ignorantly wrong, and some are only right if they apply to that person, like liking watermelon? Who doesn't? Haha, I like it too, but hate if someone saw a black person eating watermelon and assume it's just a true stereotype rather than that's just something he likes to eat since everyone is different. And I was quiet when I was younger but a lot louder now, but not out loud. Some of my family is loud and some aren't, so it's just a person-to-person thing, not race. What are some things you can do that most white people around you, peers etc., usually can't? Or some things you understand that your counterparts probably never will? Do you attend church as a family? Can you dance? Can't think of anything right now. We aren't religious but sometimes would go to church with my brothers along with the school. I did ballet from age 3 and go to dance classes from age 6, so I like to think I'm a pretty good dancer. When you were growing up, beside people asking innocent questions, people that act racist thing they aren't, were a lot of people being straight up racist to you and your family? If so, did it wake any racist thought on your mind? Sorry if the question offends you by any mean. I've never had straight up racist things said to my face. I know my family has though, and that hurts a lot knowing they have to deal with that. Though I've had racist comments said to me about my family over the internet but never give them my time. Did your parents know your birth parents personally before you were adopted, or was it an agency type thing? Do you know your birth family? Also, what it's like in Scotland with race. I'm viewing this all from an American lens. Our race, our made-up idea of race, issues as big there as here in the States where they are still huge. I imagine Europe different but have never been there. I guess there's always pockets of this and that, but overall are people more just people there? My adoptive parents met my biological parents when I was born, and I think they've met other times a few weeks after me being born and that, but never met them since being a baby. There are still some idiot people who have an issue with race, but I think it would be worse if we lived in America, no offense to Americans. If two guys are similar in everything except race, would you prefer someone who looked like you or your family? Can't really decide. All my crushes so far have been white guys though. What according to you has been the funniest instance that happened to you and or with your family? There's one I've mentioned to someone about someone thinking I was my brother's GF. Also had people ask if I act black when they've already met me, and I'm just like, well, you tell me, haha. Do you know how to swim? Yup. Me and my brothers had swimming lessons when we were younger, but now I only swim for fun. Do you like chicken? Or is that something genetic? Edit. This is clearly a joke. I like chicken flavored stuff but hate the texture of chicken. Did they show you papers? Not trying to hurt or anything, it's just a possibility the mom had a fling with a white dude and they said, oh yeah, we adopted. I know a family where that happened. All are Costa Rican Aboriginal, and then this girl is born being white cause of a fling. They tried to mask it as a genetic 1 in a million chance, but then confessed the truth to my parents who are friends with them. Yeah, I have all the proof. Also way too white for that to be a possibility. Haha, I think this might be the dumbest question here so far. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I just want to make enough chicken nuggets that I can get a good boil like this one.